When you're working a dog that suffers from fear, reactivity, or aggression, one of the most popular things that you're going to hear is people talking about distance. You will constantly hear people say, you need to create distance. And in every one of those cases, they're talking about distance from the trigger. Well, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm actually going to tell you to create distance from your dog. When your dog has an aggressive response, there's three things that team up together to create that association. Your dog is likely on a 6-foot leash, and you are right next to your dog. Very likely you are creating tension on that leash because you are worried about the trigger and what may happen. Every time we stress, we perspire through our pores, and your dog can smell that. Those three things together is what creates a reflexive response from the central nervous system, which we know as aggression. So now that we mentioned high risk, high reward, let's talk about retractable leashes. The difference between a retractable leash and a prong collar is that a retractable leash is 100% motivation and 0 compliance. And a prong collar, it is very easy to have compliance and use less motivation. With the retractable leash, we actually have more leverage over the dog than we think because we have the ability to create distance from our dog. If you are working a fearful, reactive, or aggressive dog and you want to change the way that dog feels, then you and your dog are always inside one of those bubbles, and that bubble is called the red zone. The rest of the world is actually in the other bubble, and that is the awareness bubble. If you are working your dog and someone enters your red zone, you are no longer rehabilitating your dog or performing counter conditioning protocols. You are strictly under management. We need to get past this dog, right? So this dog is gonna go in our red zone. We know that. Good. This dog looking at me for a better option, right? He's already struggling. Let him look. Good. He grabbed the food, he looked at the dog. He's looking at the dog right now, right? He's noticing, he's looking away. This is what we want. He's looking at the dog, ears are forward. He's starting to load. I'm gonna create distance, and boom. Let's talk about the three components that can actually make your counter conditioning protocols worse and not better. For a dog to change the association about how it feels about something, counter conditioning, the dog actually has to process that information first. For the dog to process that information, the dog needs the energy to do so. Processing information and changing associations take lots of energy. For a dog to have that energy, it actually needs good quality sleep. So one of the worst things you could do is exercise your dog before your counter conditioning protocols.